Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I think we are almost set and ready to go. We're just waiting on a few more people to come in, and then we'll get this show started. Just bear with us for a few seconds. Let's see. On my way, says Steve. No worries, Steve. Of course you, wait, Steve, aren't you still in, like, in university right now? I thought you were still being in class. No? Oh, join during quality. Oh, okay, no worries, Steve, no worries. Not missing 2 races in a row. Alright, no worries, man, no worries. Hope to see you soon. Hey Alicia, how you doing? Good to have you in the chat. We're still just waiting on a few more people to come in. Steve is making his way home. Steve, please be safe. Do not rush yourself too hard and get yourself into an accident, please. Alright. Well, as we take this time to wait for people to make their way in, let's actually go down the current standings after Season 4, Round 10. Here we go. For the championship standings, leading the way still is going to be Michael F1 with 187 points to his name. Then in second, we have the championship defender of Battle Z Mini in the Williams with 164 points. Then we have RSI Markey in third with 150 points. He's been on a roll recently. Same goes with Dundree. He's only 2 points behind in fourth with 148. Then we have F1 Farth with 137. Grimmy with 121. Then we have Dopey Lemons 112. Steve 84. Richard 83. Angry Dutch Guy 75. Mogi with 63. Timo Tip Top with 52. Andy Smokes Mid with 52 as well as Tomo Tip Top. We have Hazza in 14th with 37, J-Tac with 24, Kittle with 21, Wolsey with 20, Poles Got Bolt with 17, Steads with 11, and Slate's PT at the bottom, still yet to score points for the Alfa Romeo. Hopefully they get some points very, very soon. But looks like actually there's quite a bit of people not attending the race today. Of course, we got Steve making his way home as quick as he can. Battle Z Mini is not here today, and he's actually being reserved by my co-coms of James, actually, ladies and gentlemen. So a big shout out to that man right there. Hopefully he does a very, very good job. And we're going to be watching out for him, of course, the Williams quite up there in the constructor standings. And let's actually talk about them, actually, ladies and gentlemen. As leading the way is Ferrari with 308 points so far coming into round 11. Then we have the Williams with 227, so Ferrari with a very comfortable lead. Then we have Red Bull with 225, so This could be a quick change in the positions for that second place in the constructors for the Williams and the Red Bull is going to be very close. McLaren's also close up there, hitting the 200-point mark after Saudi Arabia. Mercedes with 171 points, with Aston Martin in 6th with 152. Then we have the Alpine 116, AlphaTauri with 89, Alfa Romeo in 9th with 58, and then the Haas in last with 55 points. So a lot of opportunity here to change those positions on the field. Let's see how they get this now. So Battle Z-Mini, he left. He left the league? Oh wow. I never knew that actually. I didn't realize he left, Steve. I didn't know that. I'm sorry. But also Highlander in the chat as well. Let's see how he does here in his debut. Pablo Juarez, his teammate, is going to be the first person to exit out of the pit lane. And while they go around the track, let's get a brief description of where we are here today. So here at China, at the Shanghai International Circuit, where the first ever Grand Prix at this circuit was back in 2004. A very new track to the F1 calendar. And actually, fun fact about 2004, that was where the lap record was set by Michael Schumacher in 2004 with a 132.238. No one has gotten close to that or has beaten that, making it the what's it called? The record on the track. The circuit length around 5.4 kilometers long. We are looking around a race distance of 152.5 kilometers with around 28 laps around Shanghai. Is going to be a good one. Let's see how these drivers take it now. As we are on board with Pablo making his way down the long DRS straight in Sector 3. Caught accused of cheating. Caught/accused of cheating and left. Oh, okay, gotcha. Be interesting to watch the battle between Michael and Marky. Yeah, I think that's going to be a very good battle out there. Let's go, Justin. How you doing, Marky? Good to have you in the chat. Good luck to you out there on the track, of course. But we're going to stay on board with Pablo. Actually, did I just see Highlander? Yeah, Highlander is going to be the second person to cross the line to start his lap, but we're going to go on board with Slater as we get a brief get a description of the track. So of course in Sector 1 you have the long sweeping right-hander right here of Turn 1, and then Turn 2 a little bit of a banker right-hander right after, then that hairpin of Turn 3 down towards a slight left-hander here on the exit of Turn 4, then across Turn 5 where you now enter Sector 2, a very short Sector 1, around, you want to aim for around 24 seconds in that sector. Of course, 25 is still good enough for Slater SPT, as he's now making his way towards Turn 7. This long S of Turns 7 and 8 in the middle of the track. You've really got to fight against those G-forces to hold on and move that car along the track. Slater as well, making his way towards Turn 9 and 10. Now entering Sector 3 up towards Turn 11, where he's going to be passing through the DRS detection zone. Right before you enter Turn 12, and then a little bit of an easier exit curve of Turn 13 right here down the DRS straight. So this could be a good starting time here from this man. Hey, the track must be one of the worst drives. Yeah, I'm actually not too keen about this track, to be honest with you, especially driving it. Very difficult. But down towards the end around Turn 14 on the hairpin up towards Turn 15 and then 16, this left-hander right down the DRS straight, and he's going to clock in a time of 133.725, but is going to be instantly beaten by Highlander with a 133.245. So a good time there. Best of luck to all the drivers out there on the track this evening. Hope you all have a lovely race. Best of luck commentating, Justin. Won't be sticking around as much for this stream, but you've got this. Thank you so much, Alicia. Big shout out to Alicia, ladies and gentlemen, and hope you have a beautiful day, Alicia. Enjoy it, honestly, enjoy your day. But we actually just saw Kittle pass James on that time with a 133 flat, a 133.0 on that one, so a good time there. As we have a spin around of Richard on the set of mediums. And that's the one thing about this track as well here, ladies and gentlemen. The tire compounds, those set of softs really struggle to last a good distance. Lewis in the chat saying at least all drivers are here. Well, no, well, yeah, fair. But yeah, Richard just going off on the side, just letting all of the drivers through, just so he doesn't impede anyone's lap. So good racecraft and awareness there from the Mercedes, the lone Mercedes here tonight of Richard. And I believe Steve will be joining pretty soon. He said that he's going to be joining the midway of qualifying. And JTAC, what a lap there from JTAC, a 131.760 in the Haas. He's been really finding a lot of pace recently in the last couple of races. I believe, if I do remember correctly, I believe finished in the second last week at Saudi Arabia. Let me just quickly check that. Hold on. Sorry, I had to sneeze, so I muted my mic. So, at the end of the race, if I can quickly get it. Yeah, so I was right. So yeah, so if you guys did miss the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix last week, we actually saw a pretty close, a really close battle at the end with JTEC and Dundrees as they were battling out for second. But it was RSI Markey and the Red Bull coming out on top, as he is going to be currently on a lap on the set of mediums. So we're going to stay on him, even though he's just invalidated. So he's going to not really go all out on this lap, trying to preserve those set of mediums for another lap out there on the track. But yeah, RSI Markey came back home with the win. Also started in pole. Didn't get the fastest lap though. That went down to Richard. He was in 9th place. We also had Dundrees finishing in third with Michael F1 in 4th as he continued on with his what's it called? Continued with his push for the Drivers' Championship. Then Grimmy in 5th, so a good result for the Ferraris as they push even further for the constructors. The now left and absent Battlezy Mini finished in 6th, with Stead in 7th in the Alpine, did a really good race. Kittle ended up exactly where he started in 8th place for the Alfa Romeo. And it was actually pretty close. I was thinking of giving to Kittle once again for the driver, for the driver of today, but I gave it to JTAC as he did a very, very good race at Saudi Arabia. Gave some crucial points for the Haas, and if I'm correct, might have been one of his first points in that race. I'm not entirely too sure, but he still did an extraordinary job. He did an extraordinary job, and I think we all can agree on that. Wish you could race, says Lewis. Aw, man. I wish you could too, man. It would be very enjoyable. But so RSI Markey has gone faster than Slater SPT coming into Sector 2 on the set of mediums. So this could be a very, very good lap. Not a good lap there for Michael F1. 2 minutes, so he was avoiding a lot of the cars and just let everyone through. I'm actually looking up ahead by James, really playing the team role here, as Pablo Juarez is coming around the final few corners. Down the DRS straight, you're going to be giving his teammate a little bit of a tow. I do believe I'm actually still quite too far to actually have that tow, but looks like it might be giving him the tow around. Oh, actually no. Looks like Pablo is going to now come around the final few corners, turn left, turn 15, now towards turn 16. This final left-hander, can he stay within track limits? Yes, he does. As he sprints towards the timing line, he goes up to 6th fastest at 133.390. As Highlander makes his way through a little, with a little bit of aid of like a little bit of slipstream down towards turn 1 and 2, and let's see if he can carry on that momentum until the end, as he's now making his way through. Steve has just joined and then left the session. I'm not too sure if he has connectivity issues. Hopefully he gets in here soon. But James actually very consistent in Sector 1. Only lost a thousandth of a second into that corner. So all he can do is just focus on the next coming of corners to make his way up as he now comes around turn 9 and 10, a little bit too much on the throttle as he goes off the track and invalidates his lap time. Very unfortunate there as his teammate of Pablo drives through. We're actually going to be on Richard, who is still yet to make a lap time here for the Mercedes. Let's see how he takes this now as he comes down towards turn 6 and now towards turn 7 and 8. And this S, you really gotta try and hold that car down, use a lot of the downforce ability of these Formula 1 cars as you make your way through. I think RSI Markey might not be going out for another lap there as he set his time on the set of mediums, and I think that's a very, very good shout. Those mediums are really going to be having the upper edge in this race here at China. Those softs don't really last that long in comparison to other tracks, so I think the most optimal route here would definitely go start on the set of mediums. Wait until the end for a potential safety car, as this track has a lot of corners where you can really mess up. But there we go, Steve has just made his way into the pit lane, and now Richard, his teammate, coming down towards the final corner, hits that exit curb and sprints towards the timing line at 134.024 for the Mercedes. Gonna put him in 11th place. Won't mean anything on those set of mediums. So let's see if he can improve into the top 10. Grimmy and Slater SPT currently in P10 and P9, separated by 1/1000th of a second there. And of course, as time goes on, ladies and gentlemen, the track is going to get a little bit more rubbered and is going to be giving those drivers a lot more quick times, extra grip on the ground as well. As he then moves out of the way to let the McLaren through of Tomo Tip Top, as he has improved coming into Sector 2. Let's see how he does, and he spins coming out of turn 7. Hit the curb a little bit too much there. Hit that left side, went up into the air, and rejoins right behind the Alfa Romeo of Kittle. Kittle hoping to improve on his lap time, as we do see Richard move out of the way. He is improving by 0.6, so this would be good enough so far for a front row seat. Let's see if he can bang out this final sector to get into the 131s. Potentially, he's with a 132.4 predicted coming into Sector 3. Let's see how he takes these final few corners. 3 corners left, turn 14, 15, and then 16 around that final corner. Gets a very, very good entry. You can actually take a lot more of that curve there, but he takes it safe as he now sprints towards the final corner. Carries a lot of momentum there, just misses out off those curves, but he sprints towards the timing line as he gained another 0.2 in that final sector with a 132.149 for Kittle. He really felt that lap there for that man and did an exceptional job right there. But it looks like we have a yellow flag up ahead of Highlander, who I believe is just going really slow, where the yellow flag is being waved. Of course, yellow flags for a slow oncoming car, as we did just see Pablo Juarez have himself a little bit of a spin and rejoins. Those tires going to be a little bit dusty with the gravel, but also a little bit warm, we would say, as well, as he just lets the Alfa Romeo of Kittle through. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to say, if you guys are just queuing in, welcome to SRM ESPORTS, where we're here for Season 4, Round 11 of the Chinese Grand Prix. I'm your commentator, Just Gaming. I would normally have a co-commentator of James, but he's currently out there on the track having himself a good time, and see where he matches up the pace. But now we're actually going to stay on board with James as he's coming around the final corner to finish an outlap and start a fast lap. Now opens the ERS, opens the DRS as well, as he makes his way down towards turn 1 for the Williams. Has some big shoes to fill, of course, of Battle Z Mini as he makes his way through. A very good starting time of a 133.245 for that man right there. Also, Steve is currently on a lap time, and as he was joining in, let's actually go down to him. As actually not right, he is just invalidated. So back to James, as he has a purple sector 1, crosses it with a 24.310, improved by a few tenths. As he now is entering sector 2, really is finding the grip out there on the track, down towards turn 8 now, and then 9 and 10. 9 and 10 for me personally is the most difficult part of the track. Very easy to go invalidating, even if you have two tires on the track. As he gets a purple sector 2 as well. So this could be a very, very good time here from the Highlander as he's making his way around the circuit, improving by a few tenths as J-Tech has retired into the pit lane, satisfied with his pole position for the time being a 131.760. But if Highlander purples this final sector as well, that pole position will be his, unless it does that glitch again. But yeah, it's going to be a good one, ladies and gentlemen, as he now comes around towards the final corner, gets a pretty good entrance, hits the curbs on the exit, stays within track limits. He's going to sprint towards the timing line, and he's going to go up to third, improved by 9 tenths on that lap, ladies and gentlemen. Moves up to the second row with Haza with a 132.290. And talking about Haza, just coming out of the pit lane as well. FRL Charlie, how you doing, my man? Welcome, my man. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to SRM Esports. Good to have you. You haven't missed much. We're coming down to the dire moments of qualifying, as we now see Steve come out of the pit lane on a new set of tires. So let's see how he's doing. Wow, that was quick, Lewis. Damn. But Charlie, how have you been, man? Had a good day? As Stead has retired in the pit lane, and that is going to be his qualifying over, as Tomo does the same. Of course, guys, don't start anything in the chat. Remember, we're all but respect. Come on, guys. But currently Steve is really trying to reach those final moments. We actually see RSI Markey, the previous race winner, is going out there for another lap on his set of red compounds. Let's see if he can finally get a good lap in and get into the 132s. He is trying to close the gap between him and Michael F1 for that Drivers' Championship, as he got the race win back at Saudi Arabia. But now we're going to go back down with Steve, who is currently finishing his out lap. He's going to be going for another one. We see a few people coming around. F1 Farth as well, a big name here in SRM Esports. Let's see how he does on his set of mediums. There you go, guys. Let's see, Michael. Why isn't James commentating? He's actually racing today, actually, Charlie. He's currently out there on the track for the Williams. Currently in third, as he just crossed the line with a 132.290, making himself known in that second row. Let's see if Haza can answer back to that. But F1 Farth is going to be the next person to cross the line and finish their lap. Let's see how he does on these set of mediums. I think that's probably the best tire to start on, the set of mediums, in my opinion, as the softs really degrade very, very quickly here in China. But he crosses the line, makes his way up into the third row of fifth with a 132.715 for F1 Farth, always doing an extraordinary time on those set of mediums, as he's done day in and day out. RSI Markey going into the pit lane is going to be Michael F1 now, coming down towards the final few corners, as he and Haza actually had himself a good battle in the in a short practice session that we were a part of earlier, as he tops it off, ladies and gentlemen. Michael F1 showing why he is on top here today, from when it comes down to the driver's standings, the constructors, with his teammate of Grimmy, and he now finds himself on top again here in pole position with a 131.704, making it in the dire moments of it. Steve going to be crossing the line as he makes his way up to 12th on his time. Then we have Pablo crossing the line, did not improve on his time. And then we have the Highlander, who has already finished his lap. So as we wait for Andy Smokes Mid to retire into the pit lane, that is going to round up qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. Dundree's in Stead 6. Well, Dundree's serving a quali ban here today. Stead 6 retiring into the pit lane as well. Both will be starting at the back of the grid in row 9. But now, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, as it's a very, very close time at the beginning with a 131.704 from Michael F1. JTAG with a 131.768. Haza as well finished his lap on those dire moments with a 132.036 for the AlphaTauri, and he did an exceptional job there. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to round it up. Of course, Haza in that second row with Kittle with a 132.149. But with that, rounding up qualifying, ladies and gentlemen, it is Michael F1 back on top again here at the Chinese Grand Prix for round 11 of SRM ESPORTS Season 4. With that front row is going to be JTAC, then Haza and Kittle in that second row. Then we have James in P5 with F1 Far starting on the mediums in P6, Grimmy in P7, Tomo in P8, Wolsey then marking on the mediums, Pablo starting off the free tire choice runners in 11th with Steve, Andy Smokes Mid, Slater SPT, Richard, Fake Scouser, Dundrees, and Stead making up the back row. And with that being said as well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to round up qualifying. We'll be right back to start off the Grand Prix. Of course, I do want to remind you guys that that please do not press the X to start the race. People will be changing their strategies, their pit strategies, their fuel load, even potentially their setups on the car, making a last second change. So please, please, please give enough time for everyone to get their setups all ready. And it looks like someone has readied up, so we're going to be starting off in a few seconds. And that's going to be a good one, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this show on the road. As the drivers get their tire allocations ready. Let's see what tires everyone is on. Of course, the top 10 cannot change their tire compounds that they started on, but in the bottom 8, we actually have everyone on the set of hards except for Fake Scouser on the set of mediums. So a completely caught me off guard, actually, ladies and gentlemen. But I do see the point. Those set of hards are going to be lasting a long while, where those set of softs are really going to struggle, as Slatter has been disqualified from the formation lap, and we'll be starting with some old set of compounds. So he's going to be Flintstoning his way towards turn 1, and he might be a sitting duck at the beginning of this race as well. But I think that even though those set of hards are out there and they are a very good choice, I think the best one is definitely going to be the mediums. Of course, with the softs, you do want to get yourself an amazing start to just pull yourself away from the pack behind and just get yourself gaining a lot of positions here. But of course, the softs take like about maybe, and especially in this heat as Shanghai, probably takes like about maybe 6 laps until you might have to consider going into the pit lane for a pit stop. Where with the mediums, they can last a good maybe 15, 16 laps, so basically around the halfway point of this race. And those hards could be lasting maybe around 20. So you probably could do a one-stop from the hards to the set of softs, so that's a very good shout. If you really nurse those set of mediums, you could definitely do a medium soft, or medium hard, and go with the undercut on those set of hards if you're starting on the mediums. But it's gonna be a mixed strategies out there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see which one is gonna be the best one. And you can see there's a lot of dust out there on the track as they were making their way down towards turn 14 and 15. Of course, this track being a very, very iconic track in the F1 esports scene, where we saw that this track made the decider for Jarno Opmeer, taking home the Drivers' Championship in the F1 esports. So hopefully here in SRM esports we can see the same thing with some of those drivers out there. But it's going to be very close, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be very close. As they line up, we're just seconds underway to start 28 laps around Shanghai. So let's see how these drivers take in now, as we're waiting for the last few people near the back of Dundrees instead to get themselves lined up. 5 red lights to start off this Grand Prix, ladies and gentlemen. Go on the edge of your seats because we are just seconds underway from starting this race. The green flag is being waved as we now have the red lights going down to 5, and they are revving their engines. And here we go to kick off the Chinese Grand Prix here for round 11 of the SRM esports. Amazing start from Michael F1, getting right ahead of JTAC to close the inside gap towards turn 1. A little bit of contact as there's a lot of dust down towards turn 1 and 2 as the drivers go side to side in all of these sectors. Hazza trying to go around the outside of JTAC as they almost have themselves a little bit of contact, but still makes his way through nice and easy. Steve having himself a spin as he has lost his end plate as well. Not a good start for that man right there. As we also have F1 Farth with a desperate dive down towards turn 6. As we now enter sector 2, F1 Farth and Highlander going side to side, but F1 Farth able to make his way through. I think Highlander could be looking at some sort of damage potentially, but he's still staying in that 6th place position, so doing a good job. Tomo as well, right on the back end of Grimmy, coming down towards turn 9 and 10 as they now come up towards turn 11 to enter sector 3. And so far, pretty close racing. No one is actually going side to side. They're going to be looking for the long game here, as well as he taking a little bit of a alternate route down towards turn 12 and 13, as he's going to be right on the tail end of Tomo. You can actually see that Grimmy's really closing the gap between him and RSI Markey. RSI Markey is trying to get past James on those set of mediums, but those softs are really going to have a lot of better grip at the beginning of this race. Of course, it's going to be a lot quicker to lose that grip coming later down. We have a battle between the hard compounds of Andy Smokesman and Pablo Juarez, as Pablo now loses a position to Stead after he shoots it into the pit lane for damage, as I would suspect Steve to do as well, which he does. Of course, that corner right there in the real life scene actually has a lot of gravel, where we actually saw Lewis Hamilton get himself stuck when he was back at McLaren, when they had, I believe, the Vodafone livery, the silver and red. But with that being said as well, we actually already have our first steward reporting already out there on the track. Might be down to F1 Farth potentially, I'm not too sure, but F1 Farth, what a start that he's had on those set of mediums. Already keeping up with the set of softs up ahead. We also see JTAC getting a very good exit compared to Hazza down towards turn 11, and is going to be looking for the early overtake against the other red compound starter. But now in the rear view, you can actually see how much dirty air these drivers will be getting, but JTAC will be getting slipstream as he looks on the inside of Hazza down towards turn 14, enters the braking zone, and he's able to hold on to it. The Alfa Romeo of Kittle trying to get himself involved in that, as Hazza's trying to get the switchback. JTAC still giving the space, but then closes the door around turn 16, and now as the DRS is going to be enabled here, Michael F1 still leads the race with JTAC in second and Hazza in third. We see a little bit of a battle near the back with Dundrees and James, as he's struggling to get grips to those set of softs. Of course, replacing the second position driver in the driver standings of Battle Z Mini after some sort of incident where it was either caught or accused of cheating in the SRM esports and had to make his leave out of the league. Really puts his championship with a sour taste, but well, let's see how if anyone else can give the championship title a better name around it. But you can see that the hard compound of Dundrees really making up a lot of good pace here. Started at the back with a quali ban, as he is now keeping up with the soft runners, getting past the soft runner for that fact as well, and we'll be getting DRS. We're actually going to go up the field, as we do have Steve, who is still spinning around the track, really struggling at the beginning of this race. But now J-Tech with the DRS is able to close a little bit of a gap between him and Michael F1, and he's going to be using that DRS to just pull him along. The track gets right on the tail end of Michael F1 down towards turn 14, where he just misses the diffuser and misses getting front wing damage. So good evasive maneuvers there from J-Tech, but really needs to figure out the braking zone out here on the track. As we do have Woolsey going into the pit lane for the Alpines. I believe he might be looking at an early pit stop on his tires, potentially for damage on the front wing. I do not know at this point in time, but we will soon find out as he approaches the pit lane. And he's going for the undercut here, ladies and gentlemen, an early undercut for Woolsey, as he goes on the set of mediums, now coming out right ahead of Pablo Juarez, potentially, as he's now coming around the final corner. So he made a lot of good time on that set of softs, so that just shows that the set of softs are still doing pretty good here, but just for the long run is really going to mess them up. But of course you don't want to make too early of a pit stop if those softs are still going to be dominant. But now we actually see a little bit back behind, where we actually have Tomo and Dundrees having himself getting pretty close on the field. The McLaren's doing a very, very good job. Sorry guys, it's just been a long day for me. As we have a spin around the back of Jay Fake Scouser, who has spun around the exit of turn 10, and that's what I said earlier. Me personally, the most difficult part of the track, as we have a change in the leader here of J-Tech getting the overtake on Michael F1 using the DRS, and then Michael F1 is going to be right on the tail end of J-Tech coming down towards the final corner. We'll be having DRS himself, but doesn't look like he's going to be able to get the overtake as of yet. Hazza goes into the pit lane on his 5 lap old set, no, 5 lap old set of softs, and is going to be making the early pit stop. Tomo as well as Highlander going into the pit lane. So it really just shows that those set of softs are really struggling to keep the pace for the long run. So those drivers that started on the set of mediums, F1 Farth doing his quality lap on his set of mediums, is going to be looking pretty nice. And this race, same goes with RSI Markey, even with Dundrees starting at the back of the grid and going on the set of hards on this one. So doing an exceptional job to nurse those set of rubbers while also keeping the pace. And you can actually see Dundrees started in 17th, already gained 10 positions up to 7th. Now back up with F1 Farth, as J-Tech is hit with a time penalty as he gets multiple warnings of corner cuts, and is going to be serving that at the end of the race. We see Michael F1 going off into the distance as he spins on the exit of turn 11, loses from P2 down to P5, and that is very unfortunate for that man right there. And we'll just, actually he will get DRS, of course. He got it off of J-Tech as he was right behind him, coming down towards the DRS detection zone. But now Kittle and J-Tech are going to be it's going to be around that time to where these set of softs are really going to struggle to keep the pace, as we do see J-Tech shoot it in for the pits on his pit stop there. Michael F1 decides to stay out. Grimmy actually goes in on his old set of softs. So now let's see if the drivers behind who made the earlier pit stop will get past the current pit stoppers of J-Tech and Grimmy. And you can see F1 Farth able to get the switch back on the exit there, and is able to shoot past Kittle down towards turn 6, where Kittle can't do nothing about it on his old set of softs. Now we're seeing RSA Markey really make up the distance on his set of mediums and staying right behind. You can see F1 Farth just pulling away from Kittle as well. So those mediums are really finding its pace, where those set of softs are really starting to lose out on their pace. Highlander to, oh, come on now. Come on now, Ninja. You can't do that. And I'm pretty sure if James crashes, we'll probably see him in the comms box. But to be honest with you, even though I do miss him in the comms box, and we have like a good banter between us, I actually do really want to see him do well here. I just really hope he does well, as his teammate Pablo Juarez actually spins. And we're now seeing RSA Marquis get past Kittle down towards turn 14, sorry. Again, it's been a long day. I'm yawning like crazy. I'm sorry, guys. As Kittle goes into the pit lane, and Michael still decides to stay out on his old set of softs. A bit of a different strategy for this man, as he's probably going to go with a one stop here. The drivers behind, who made that earlier pit stop, is probably going to go with a two stop here. But Michael F1, let's see if he can make the one stop work as he goes on the throttle. And it starts to catch up to RSA Marquis here. RSA Marquis with a little bit of a slippery exit down towards turn 5 and 6 now. As we do have a yellow flag on the field. I'm not too sure who that is. I think that's Woolsey. It is Woolsey. Woolsey spinning around after the final corner. Now finds himself down to P17. And it's not a good sight for that man. Not a good sight right there. As he wants to do well, he wants to perform, but just with that as well, really gonna struggle out there. But back up to the middle of the pack, we're actually seeing Hazza and JTAC, the two drivers that pitted at the exact same time, in both P7 and P8. So doing an exceptional job now on those new set of mediums to hold the gap. JTAC's going to be aiming to catch up with Richard on his old set of hards, but I think those hards are really going to be the best tire compound in this race. We're going to have to wait and see, but as the grid has spread out a little bit, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to remind you guys that if you guys are new to the SRM Esports team, please make your way down to the subscribe button. We're trying to get around 50 subscribers in total until at the end of the season. And if you guys are enjoying the content, please hit the like button and comment as well. I want to interact with you guys to see how you guys are enjoying this. If there's anything I can change that will make it more enjoyable for you guys back at home. But now as Michael comes out of the pit lane, he's going to be right behind his teammate of Grimmy, and Michael F1 switching to those set of hards, doing an exceptional job there. To stay right behind his teammate on the exit, going to warm up those set of hard compounds and get themselves ready to get and to improve those lap times. Now we're actually seeing up ahead in first, RSI Marquis really catching up to F1 Farth. RSI Marquis is aiming for that Drivers' Championship after that win at Saudi Arabia, looking for a back-to-back win here tonight for RSI Marquis. So let's see how he does this, as he will be having DRS coming down towards turn 14, sorry. And just by that exit, you can actually see that RSI Marquis has a little bit of a lower downforce build compared to F1 Farth. So I think this is where RSI Marquis is really going to be finding his pace. Is going to be on those straights, where F1 Farth will be in those corners, as you can see. Really having a faster exit into these corners, where RSI Marquis now with the DRS towards turn 1, easily gonna get into half a second gap here. So it's gonna be the battle of the downforce to the top end speed here around China. Of course, sector 1 and 2, well actually sector 2 specifically is gonna be more favored to the downforce, where in sector 1 and 3 is going to be significantly favored to the top end speed and lower downforce. So I think RSI Marquis is really having the better strategy here when it comes to the setup of the Formula 1 car, where F1 Farth is really struggling to stay ahead on those straights. And I think we could definitely see RSI Marquis make his way past in the next coming of laps, as they make their way now towards Sector 3, where this is where RSI Marquee is really going to shine with that DRS, with the top end speed before the DRS, as well as we have Kittle spinning around turn 6 and rejoins right behind James in P13, as we have Richard actually losing quite a bit of positions off of Haza and JTech, where he will be getting DRS. So good strategy there, as RSI Marquee is looking to close the gap now, as he is now within 4 tenths, now 5 tenths coming around the exit, as Kittle spins around once again. So his tire is not really in the best sort of conditions out there, those set of hards, as he is struggling to find the pace. Pablo Juarez as well as Fake Scouser going to be having themselves an opportunity to catch up, as we have a quick change between Grimmy and Michael F1. Of course, Michael F1 trying to push for that Drivers' Championship. Both of them working very well together throughout the season for the Constructors, as they now make their way around the final corner. And there you go. It really just shows how dominant those hards are going to be in this race. Michael F1 with the fastest lap on 1:35.299 for the Ferrari driver on the set of hard compounds. It just really shows that coming into the midway of this race, those hards, those mediums are going to be the best tire to use, as the grid is actually filled with yellow and white. But now it just makes you think, when are those medium compounds? Of course, the drivers that started on those mediums of Fake Scouser, F1 Farth, and RSI Marquee, here's going to be the one to when are they going to be the ones to lose out on their pace due to their old set of tires, as we just missed out on Haza spinning, almost spinning there again around turn 9 and now 10, as Tomo is right on the tail end. Haza going to be moving out of the way to not create a incident, but will be gaining DRS down towards turn 14, so a good strategy here for Haza to pull his way back into this race, as RSI Marquee is really struggling to keep up. And there goes Haza into the wall, a major crash for the AlphaTauri driver of Haza. Gone on the throttle a little bit too much there on the exit of turn 13, and finds himself in the tire barriers. You can actually see how much he pushed those tire barriers with that impact. Hopefully he's doing okay. Definitely might be getting a concussion there, as we see Richard on the set of hards going into the pit lane. Same with Stead, as Tomo is hit with a drive-through penalty and a 3-second time penalty as he's making his way into the pit lane. And Richard switches onto the set of softs, where Grimmy right behind him is going to be switching. That is not Grimmy. Grimmy's going to switch onto the set of hards from the mediums. So I think Richard could definitely be messing up the strategy here, in my opinion. But all of those drivers with the free pit stop. Andy Smokes Mid as well with a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car period. And that's going to be unfortunate, you got to say. But now back up the field with F1 Farth and RSI Marquee with their old set of mediums, as Richard as well gives a drive-through penalty. A lot of these drivers out here struggling to watch their delta here at China. As J-Tech and Andy Smokes Mid swaps positions, I guess Andy Smokes Mid had himself a little bit of a spin, a little bit of a hiccup to give J-Tech the position. But I think F1 Farth, RSI Marquee, and definitely Dundrees, I think they're all going to be shooting it into the pit lane here, as you do see them go now. Of course, this pit entrance actually had a lot of history with itself as well, as we actually saw Sebastian Vettel actually make his way into the pit lane and making a double overtake before the line as well, as we now see RSI Marquee get past F1 Farth, who had front wing damage. Is going to be looking at ending this race on the set of hards, as we now see Michael F1 go right behind RSI Marquee on the exit there. And with his new set of hards as well, he's going to be looking at it. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what we've been waiting for, as we've been waiting for this moment to see RSI Markey and Michael F1 battle it out. Michael F1 with a few older, like 3 lap older set of tires, of course, and a little bit more wear on those set of tires as well. So it's just gonna come down to absolute skills out there between those two, as well as F1 Far Dundrees doing an exceptional job, as Haza has left the session. But with that as well, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are enjoying the content, please make your way down towards the SRM ESPORTS channel, where you would actually find the big red subscribe button, and hit that notification bell and make sure that's completely filled so you're notified every single time we go live here for SRM ESPORTS. But with this yellow flag being waved after the huge collision with the wall for Haza Deco 99, and it's going to be making all of these drivers reconsider their strategies out there on the track. And I'm going to take, as the safety car might be staying out for another lap, James is racing instead of comms. Yes, I know. Yep, Alicia, he is. He's currently out there. No, Harry. Yeah, James is racing out there, yeah. He is, he's racing for the Williams, replacing Battle Z Mini, who is currently in the 2nd place position of the standings. I gotta open up a window because it's getting hot in this room. Jesus. Hold on, give me a quick second, guys, as I try to get a little bit of a breeze. Oh yeah, that's a good breeze. Yep, and it is getting to that time, ladies and gentlemen, of the summer where it's gonna be the what's it called? The grocery store is completely out of sun cream. I could definitely tell you that. But it's kind of getting a bit boring. I do miss James in the comments box, I will be honest. I do miss him, I do. But I hope he does well on the track, I really do. I hope he does well. As I just got another notification, so give me a quick second, guys. Just waiting for race control to come in. Still waiting on race control to come through, ladies and gentlemen, as we're waiting on Steve to catch up with the pack to get this race back underway. We're actually at the halfway point of this race. So now Steve has caught up with the safety car queue, and that has come through. Race control, safety car is now in this lap. RSI Markey gonna be making the drivers behind him nice and compact as he's looking for a back-to-back win here in SRM ESPORTS. Michael F1 gonna be not letting Markey do this, as he's trying to hold on to his driver's championship lead. As we do see Michael F1 with a beautiful start. Same goes with F1 Farth as they sprint their way down towards turn 1, almost going 3 wide into turn 1. Michael around the outside is going to lose the position to F1 Farth. Same goes with RSI Markey as he's trying to get that position back, but F1 Farth with a double overtake on that safety car restart finds himself in the lead of this race. Now Michael F1 right looking around the outside, trying to find some sort of gap to get past Markey as Marky goes a little bit on the inside to defend, and Andy Smokes Mid actually had himself a spin, and who was that going completely off the track? And that's going to be J-Tac getting all the way off the track, rejoining and having contact with people as well as he loses his front wing. A very, very abysmal restart on this. Oh, I'm not too sure, Leisha. It's alright though. I think it just gets boring when it comes down to the safety car periods, especially when we have multiple laps of it. But now Michael F1 did make his way past Marky. Marky trying to get the optimal route to get past himself, as we have a spin near the back, and it's going to be James, who has spun around turn 11. As we have another spin of Tomo and Steve as well going into the wall, and that's now Steve out of this race as he is retired. A lot of debris on that grass around the exit, but everyone making their way through, and we are still back underway with the green flags. And after that safety car restart, F1 Farth leads the way by around 2.5 seconds. Marky and Dundree's at the side. Dundree's with his set of mediums is really looking to hold on to the position. Marky trying to find the space on the inside down towards turn 2 and now 3, and he's able to retake that position, as we do see J-Tac go into the pit lane and actually mess up his entrance. Gets teleported back onto the track as he is trying to go backwards on the track and get back into that pit lane. I think that's illegal. He might be getting disqualified. He looks like he's just got away with it after getting reset the track by the game themselves, as he's going to go into the pit lane with a new front wing potentially. Now near the middle, actually near the front, actually we can actually see Marky losing a lot of pace to Michael F1, and F1 Farth with an extraordinary lead for himself, as he now leads the way by around 2.5 seconds off of Michael down towards turn 13. DRS still yet to be re-enabled. It'll be enabled at the start of the next lap, and that's going to be giving a lot of position changes over the field. Michael F1 trying to stay ahead of Marky by over a second. Dundrees is going to make it a little bit easier, as he's going to be battling out with Marky, as he slots right ahead of Richard. Richard struggling out there with a set of softs. Definitely going to be struggling later on, as those set of softs are really going to be messing up here, as he goes into the pit lane with a broken end plate. As the DRS has now been enabled here, ladies and gentlemen, you actually saw a bunch of the dirt and gravel and a little bit of debris actually rejoin the track. It's going to be difficult out there, I can definitely tell you that. Definitely going to be difficult. Such a difficult track for tires, says Harry. Yeah, I can definitely agree with you there, man. Those set of softs, Richard definitely learning it the hard way. The drivers at the beginning of this race actually learned it the hard way themselves as well. But as well, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are just queuing in, after J-Tac had himself another spin around turn 13, rejoined safely. I hope you guys are having a beautiful, beautiful Thursday, as we are here. No, not Thursday. Jesus, Justin. Wednesday. Hope you guys are having a beautiful Wednesday. Where we find ourselves here tonight for Season 4, Round 11 of the Chinese Grand Prix. As we see Tomo Tip Top having himself a spin. And that's going to bring out the virtual safety car as well, as he has lost his whole front wing in that race. But as we do have the VSC in play, let's actually do some... let's do a fun fact about the Chinese Grand Prix, ladies and gentlemen. As I'm getting the information now. Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a little bit interesting for you guys, as we are waiting for the VSC to end. Of course, once the marshals get off all the debris. The Chinese Grand Prix, also known as the Shanghai Street Circuit, actually cost around $500 million, ladies and gentlemen. 500 million to make the Shanghai International Circuit, which is located in the outskirts of Shanghai, one of the largest cities in the world, with a population of around 24 million, ladies and gentlemen. 24 million. And with that as well, Highlander gets himself a VSC, a drive-through penalty after speeding under the VSC period. F1 Farth still with an extraordinary lead of around 2 seconds, and Michael F1 ahead of Markey by around 1.5 seconds. So with the DRS being re-enabled here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, nope, not that. I think this is going to be a close end for this race. I think F1 Farth definitely has the opportunity to do it. Let's see, sorry, I was just looking at some messages, ladies and gentlemen. Give me a quick second. There we go. Just had to message some people back. But now we're actually seeing Dundrees make his way past Markey down towards turn 14 as Dundrees makes his status known in the podium positions. Now Markey is really struggling off of that exit and will not be having DRS to catch up to Dundrees, as he's going to be doing it with the ERS. Kittle and Grimmy going side to side down towards turn 1, and Grimmy able to make his way up to P6. But I do gotta say as well, ladies and gentlemen, Stead 6, what a race that this man has been having recently. Started in last place up to P5 with a one-stop strategy in play as well. Pitted under the safety car, doing an exceptional job to make himself known up a little bit higher on the field. What a drive Farth is putting in there as well, says Harry. Gotta say Harry, F1 Farth, it always represents, always provides. But one thing I gotta say as well, actually, ladies and gentlemen, is that the Chinese Grand Prix so far has already taken out 4 drivers in this race. Tomo Tip Top being one of them. JTech, who was leading the race right after the first safety car. Well, no, not leading right after the first safety car. Was going to lead, but had to go into the pit lane for a different tire compound. Still had a very good race. Finished in second last week at Saudi Arabia. So he's been having a lot of good races recently for that man. Steve as well, the latecomer in qualifying, unfortunately had himself an early retirement, as well as Haza, who had the first retirement out here on the track. Yep, I'm also looking right here on the in the Discord, and JTech is actually blaming Dundrees for that as well, for steering under braking with his incident. So I'm not too sure what happened with him. Pablo as well as Kittle going side to side, as Kittle had the inside line towards turn 7. Pablo just had himself a little bit of a too much of a wider line there, as he now slots in 8th. Kittle now up to 7th, as we have Richard crossing the line with the fastest lap as well in this race. We're now going to make our way back up to RSA Markey, who's going to be having DRS against Dundrees down towards turn 14. And let's see how this man does, as he does see the fainting, blinking red lights coming off the tail end of Dundrees here. Markey's not going to be able to get the position right there, but Dundrees is going to have to really start to recharge that battery, or else Markey will definitely take advantage of that, as we see Andy Smokes Mid have himself a spin in oh, there's a crash on the field, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be Kittle, as Kittle has crashed out on the exit of turn 10. No, not turn 10, turn 14, sorry, turn 14. And Highlander is going to be the first driver to make his way into the pit lane, as we have Dundrees trying to respect the safety car period. Richard hit with a drive-through penalty as well. James going to go in for a set of softs to end this, no, set of mediums. I think the set of softs could definitely end this race. but these drivers are going to be staying away from that as well. One thing I do want to see is Richard gets another drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car and could be disqualified very soon if he's not too careful. Let's actually see this real quick. So in the driver's standings, I want to check out Stead 6. And Stead 6, ladies and gentlemen, currently is in 19th with 11 points to his name. And at a track which is very difficult for a lot of drivers, he's doing an exceptional job to stay within that top 10. Question is, who's looking at being driver of the day? I'm actually thinking of Stead 6, currently in 19th in the driver's standings. So now on lucky number 11 in the round of SRM Esports, he's looking at getting one of the most points that he's ever gotten so far in the entirety of the season at this point. So if Stead 6 really keeps this up here, ladies and gentlemen, I think that Stead 6 could definitely get driver of the day, in my opinion. And yeah, what a strategy this could be for Highlander. This could be a very, very good strategy, as we are now seeing the front runners go into the pit lane. Actually, everyone near the front going into the pit lane, Grimmy as well. So everyone is going to go in for a new set of tires, most likely the set of softs, to end this race. Let's see. Yep, F1 Farth on that red compound. Michael F1 as well. A lot of red taking over that top part of the drivers, as Highlander has to respect the delta coming around turn 14. Really wants to go on that throttle to make up the positions, but his set of mediums might not be able to make it. He's actually on a used set of mediums, actually, ladies and gentlemen, as all of the drivers ahead of him are on a set of softs. But so far, ladies and gentlemen, I think that you guys would agree that that Stead 6 has had an amazing race here today. A lot of the drivers and the thing is, Stead 6 not being a usual in the top 10, let alone the top 5 in the season of SRM Esports. And I think this could be definitely his breakthrough here, as he could be getting a lot of points for himself at the bottom of the grid. So I think Stead 6 could definitely be up there for driver of the day. Yeah, Stead 6 driver of the day, says Harry. I think that's a very, very good shout in my opinion. He's been doing an exceptional job. But let's see, but for performance-wise, it could definitely go to any of these drivers, because just surviving this long here in China is difficult as well. Yeah, driver of the day, defo for Stead 6. What a race, exactly. Even if he doesn't even make himself in the points, like if he just misses out or something, I think just staying this long on the track, especially against those top runners ahead of him and behind him as well, I think he's been doing an exceptional job. So I'm actually going to make the announcement in the chat now. Well, actually, no, I won't be making the announcement in the chat. I'm just going to have the message pre-typed. As we do wait for the drivers near the back to catch up with the pack, it's going to be actually aiding the what's it called? The soft runners out there on the field right now, and this could be a very, very good result for the soft runners, as they'll be starting on lap 23, so 6 laps around Shanghai to end off this race. Let's do this real quick. If I get... There we go. Who can keep the tires in the last few laps, cause tire wear is a killer. Yeah, exactly. A lot of these drivers are really gonna struggle out here tonight. They are really gonna struggle in these last coming of laps, as we now see Richard near the back catch up with the pack now. And I would have thought that the drivers out of the points like Fake Scouser and Slater SPT could be looking at going on the set of softs to end this race as well, but they still decide to go out on those set of softs. And now with Richard catching up with the pack, this is going to be it here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the final few laps around Shanghai for season 4 round 11 of SRM Esports. If it stays like this, Michael F1 will still lead the Drivers' Championship as well as the Constructors' Championship, and that is what he's going to be aiming on. F1 Farth definitely could be making up some positions in the position that he's currently in. RSI Markey could be making his way past Battle Z Mini in the Drivers' standings. So it's going to be a close one here, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a close one. But we just received from race control. Safety car is in this lap. Stead 6 to get a podium? Maybe. Don't jinx him now, Harry. Don't jinx him. I hope he does. He's been doing an exceptional job today. But as it is the final few laps and the safety car driving off into the distance, let's actually look at the time penalties currently out there on the field. Highlander and Richard both with a drive-through. I believe Richard with 2 drive-through penalties. If I do remember correctly. Andy Smokesmith with 5 seconds to his name. Grimmy as well with 3 seconds to his name. So a lot of the kind of drivers in the lower positions of the driver standings are actually in the points here. Stead 6 being one of them. Slater SPT as well. Like there's quite a bit of drivers right now in the mid pack of the driver standings as well as the bottom. That are doing an exceptional job to stay out there. As we now see Highlander shoot it into the pits to serve his drive-through penalty, as well as Richard. So them two are going to have a good battle to end off this race. But RSI Markey right on the tail end of Dundrees coming up towards turn 2 now. He's looking on the inside. The space is there. Dundrees will now have the inside, but I think that outside line is really going to be optimal here on the exit around turn 3. And that's now going to be giving Stead 6 the opportunity to make up some positions with that battle. Grimmy as well looking for a deep dive for RSI Markey around turn 6. Dundrees trying to defend it on the next corner of turn 7. Now has the inside of the S's, but RSI Markey holds on, and now Stead right on the tail end against these 2 big hitters at SRM Esports, trying to get himself past into the top 4. He's greedy at this point. Well, he's not greedy. He's more like he wants to get more points. Even in the position that he's in, he's very satisfied with the race that he has had, but he's looking to get even more points to push himself even further. Currently in 19th in the driver's standings, hoping to get even further. But around that corner there, Stead lost a lot of pace here. Grimmy is looking to get the position, but Stead is defending pretty well with his ERS down towards turn 14. And we actually saw RSI Markey overtake Dundrees down towards turn 6 and 7. Dundrees could not answer back, but Michael F1 up the field is going to be right on the tail end of F1 Farth. Now has the fastest lap of a 133.572. So we'll be bagging in the extra points for his standings, as we now see F1 Farth right ahead as well. Near the back as well, we actually see Pablo Juarez right. He was right on the tail end of Grimmy down towards turn 6 and turn 2 and 3, up towards turn 5, 6, and 7. He's not gonna be able to make the position yet, but still some crucial points for the Williams team, who are currently 2nd in the constructor standings. But now Stead has lost out his second gap between him and Dundrees. So this could be catastrophic for Stead, as he will not be having DRS once it's activated here, ladies and gentlemen. I think a lot of people back at home want Stead 6 to represent well. The tension in our house could be cut with a knife. Michael is sweating like mad. I reckon Markey is getting to him. Actually, Markey is behind Michael by around a second. He's looking at trying to get up to F1 Farth, actually, Alicia, as he is going to be right within the DRS distance. Of course, the next lap is when the DRS will be enabled, as we can actually see the track actually being divided with different battles of 2. The front 2 having themselves a battle, 3 and 4 having a battle, 5 and 6 also having themselves a close battle, with 7 and 8, the Pablo Juarez and Woolsey having themselves a battle as well. So it's kind of divided in 2s as the DRS has been enabled. Grimmy has actually had a very good exit line around turn 16 to start lap 25. Now will be 4 laps of DRS to decide who's going to be the one to come out on top. Richard has just gotten himself past Highlander near the back of this race. And we can actually see Woolsey right on the tail end of Pablo Juarez, as Pablo really lost a lot of pace off of Grimmy here. Now behind by around 2 seconds. And Markey is actually starting to catch up to Michael F1 here, ladies and gentlemen. And Stead is really trying to close in that gap between him and Dundrees, stay within the DRS distance. Dundrees actually having a lot better pace in the S's. But now we're going to go down to Woolsey, who is right on the tail end of Pablo Juarez. And you can see that gap getting pretty close as they make their way around turn 9 and 10. Now up towards turn 11, we're actually going to stay with Stead. We're going to stay with Stead. He won't be getting DRS. And the driver behind him, Grimmy, will be, but he had a better exit there, so he may hold on to it. But Michael F1 behind by almost a second with the DRS is able to make up a few tenths down towards turn 14. And it looks like he gains like around 3 tenths down towards turn 14. But Michael F1 with an extraordinary pace on those exits, as he still holds on to the lead. 3 laps left to go here, ladies and gentlemen, in SRM Esports. Let's see if F1 Farth can hold it on. Michael F1 using the DRS once again down towards turn 1, making up a lot of positions here. Well, not a lot of positions, a lot of time here. A lot of that gap getting shortened down. RSA Markey right on the tail end as well, as Pablo and Woolsey going side to side down towards turn 1, 2, and 3. Now towards the exit of turn 4, Woolsey is able to make the position. A shaky exit for Pablo Juarez solidifies that position now for Woolsey. And now back up the field, Michael F1 right on the tail end, fighting against that dirty air in these S's of turns 7 and 8. Now towards turn 9 and 10, F1 Far still holds on to the lead. Michael F1 right in second, right behind the diffuser as well, as they come down towards turn 10 and now up towards turn 11 as they enter sector 3. Michael F1 and Markey will both be having DRS. Dundrees has just pulled away from Stead, so Stead will not be having DRS coming down towards turn 12 and 13. Grimmy is now right on the tail end in his Ferrari. Let's see if he can make the gap. Currently with 3-second time penalty. Stead trying to break the break the slipstream down this DRS straight. Not going to be enough, but now up the head. We actually see Michael try to go around the outside of F1 Farth, getting the switchback on turn 15. F1 Farth is able to hold on to that lead. Michael will now have DRS once again, and he's going to make his way past F1 Farth. And Markey as well, right on the tail end. Michael trying to go around the outside. Pablo Juarez hit with a 3-second time penalty. Trying to go around the outside, and that's now going to give Markey the opportunity on the inside to make his way past. Michael breaks a little bit later down towards turn 2 and 3, and he stays in that second place. These three really giving it their all. Markey's going to be playing it a little bit more patient compared to Michael F1, and trying to catch both of them out on a mistake with their battle. So Markey's going to be just letting them go, have themselves a battle, and potentially make themselves get them an incident out there on the track. But now you can actually see the gap between them getting very, very close now as it's coming down to the penultimate lap of the race here, ladies and gentlemen. And with a spin around, that's going to be Andy Smokes mid, spins around in the final lap. Well, in the penultimate lap of this race. Now out of the points, Slater SPT could be looking at getting his first ever points here at SRM Esports as well. And now Michael F1 with the DRS. He has saved up a lot of ERS on this final lap, as he's now looking for the move on F1 Farth on the inside. Can he get the position? Yes, he can. Michael F1 takes the lead of this race. Now coming around the final corner, will F1 Farth get the DRS down towards turn 1? Yes, he will, and he might retake that position as he now looks on the inside, but Michael F1 using a lot of that ERS to hold on. Markey as well looking for the move. The space on the inside against F1 Farth is there, but he's going to be a little bit more patient and just wait on it in this final lap. Markey really lost a lot of that ERS. F1 Farth and Michael F1 really saved up their own. as Michael is going to be using a lot of that ERS to stay ahead of F1 Farth as he makes his way now towards turn 6 and now towards the S's of turn 7 and 8. These three have been the biggest thing to happen to SRM Esports. I can definitely tell you that, ladies and gentlemen. All three of these drivers been giving it their all day in and day out on the track, and really makes it an enjoyable experience for me back in the comms box as we now come down towards the final few corners. The last sector of the race here, ladies and gentlemen. Michael F1 now has to defend against F1 Farth in this final DRS straight, where Michael actually had a little bit of a faster exit. He's using all of his ERS, where F1 Farth has the DRS, the ERS, and the slipstream. Is he gonna look on the inside? Michael is trying to defend. The gap is there. He's gonna get desperate. Brakes super late there. Michael F1 has pulled him off. Markey had a spin as he trying to get himself involved in that battle. And Michael F1 comes around the final corner. F1 Farth getting desperate. He goes off and spins into the wall. Michael F1 got pushed off the track, and Markey is somehow your winner here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. What an ending. What an ending. Now that has got to be unfortunate. Michael F1 got nudged by F1 Farth. F1 Farth goes into the wall, finishes in 7th. Michael get hit, pushed off the track, would have gotten the race win, but now falls down to 3rd as Markey gets himself a back-to-back race win. Now that is going to be one of the most controversial endings of this race. That is going to be the most controversial ending. I can definitely tell you that. That is going to be talked for a long time now, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Wow, what an ending. What a absolute ending to that race that was. Markey gets himself a back-to-back win here in SRM Esports. F1 Farth gets just too desperate off of Michael as he comes around the final corner and spins into the wall. Not a corner that you want to get an overtake on, and just really made a hash out of it as he crashes into the wall. Michael F1 thought that he actually messed up Markey there, so he slowed down to give him the win around the final corner. Good sportsmanship there from Michael. Dundrees finishes off in 2nd stead, up to P4 as he gets his first points ever. I mean, not his first points ever, but a lot of points in the SRM Esports, and that is going to round it off. Yeah, and Michael just said, F1 Farth, did we touch, or did you take too much curb? Either way, I was slowing down for marking. Says Michael. But yeah, good sportsmanship in the chat as well, ladies and gentlemen. Love, love, love to see that. Dundrees starts in 2nd last, finished in 2nd. Michael getting pole position down to 3rd. After that very controversial ending, F1 Farth got too desperate at the end. From could have been a second place finish, now down to 7th. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for SRM Esports. If you want to know where we will be next week, it'll be at my home Grand Prix of Portugal on the 11th of May. Mark it in your calendars. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for SRM Esports. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and we will see you next time.